Money main and the thing of a T and playing no games. Should already know my name when I speak NCC play. Got my YouTube poppin', man. Like, subscribing, everything in between. You already know. Money man. You already know.
Coach Prime. They ain't believe in us, but we did. Now watch this. They said I was flash, just Prime's little man. Till I dropped bombs with a wrist full of plan. Went from HB's heat to the draft day screen. Now I'm suited up, throwing dots in the league. They ain't supposed to grind, just posted the goal. They didn't show the nights when my mind went cold. Now I'm front page, game got clean. 12 on my back, but I still rep the drove. They ain't believe me, now I'm throwing threes. FP gold, throwing touchdowns with ease. Hold them all, just give me time. Now the whole world see I'm prime. They ain't believe me, but I stayed down. Coach ain't on froze, now I run this time. They ain't believe me, but I stayed down. Coach ain't on froze, now I run this town. Check the tapes, I ain't missing a clutch. Pockets stay clean, I don't fold on the rush. Media talking about my stats speak loud. Went from memes to the face of the crowd. I ain't just a QB, I'm a brand with a code. Every step I took had to carry that load. But I ain't blink once, I just step with grace. Now my data screenshot every play I lace. They ain't believe me, now I'm throwing threes. FP gold, throwing touchdowns with ease. Told them all, just give me time. Now the whole world see I'm prime. They ain't believe me, but I stayed down. The chain on froze, now I run this town. They ain't believe me, but I stayed down. The chain on froze, now I run this town. They didn't believe I could lead, didn't believe I could win. But belief ain't required, results are. From the sandlot throws to the Pro Bowl dreams. Built from fire, raised by kings. They ain't believe me, but I believe twice. Now I'm QB1 and it's the price. They ain't believe me, now I'm throwing threes. FP gold, throwing touchdowns with ease. Hold them all, just give me time. Now the whole world see I'm prime. They ain't believe me, but I stayed down. Chain on froze, now I run this town. They ain't believe me, but I stayed down. Chain on froze, now I run this town.
So didn't do the things necessary to beat a good team on the road. That's the frustrating part for me and for our players and everybody. It's tough. Injuries wise, Seth Tillman has a hamstring injury. DeAndre Carter has a knee injury. I'll have more information over the next couple of days. But yeah, can't do those things and expect to beat a good team on the road. With that, I'll take any questions. Yeah, it's just it's frustrating, Mary Kay, because we know you can't do those things and expect to win on the road, and so I got to get it fixed. Yeah, we all share in those things. We all own it, and we all have to be better. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but obviously a miscommunication.
Did you think he got? I know Jerry thought he was interfered with. What did you see look like?
Yeah, hard. I didn't have a good look at it. Yeah. Yeah, obviously, when we struggle like we did on offense, obviously, Mary Kay, I understand the question, but that's not our focus.
Why? I mean, I just have to say, why isn't it your focus? It seems like every game, this offense struggles to 20 points, returning the ball all the time, having good days. Why? Obviously, it isn't all on the quarterback, but the quarterback is kind of central.
Yeah. Again, I respectfully, we didn't do enough on offense.
You from start to finish, some picks, some protection issues, and things like that. Is that one of the reasons why you feel supported to move forward with Joe, because he just didn't keep up?
Yeah, again, I think it goes back to the original part of this, Mary Kay, where we own this all together. To have success on any side of the ball, you have to play as one and you have to play together. And we had too many things that caused us not to have success. Yeah, he's a very good player. Obviously, we had a plan that we need to do better.
Okay, do you have any explanation for the drops? Is it happening in practice?
No, it's not happening in practice. That's part of being good in the pass game is having precision, and that includes everything and everything you do. And we obviously have to clean that up. Yeah, we have to be better. We have to be better in a lot of areas, and certainly we can't allow a punt return for a touchdown. That's really frustrating. That's not what we're coaching. That's certainly not how we're trying to cover and the techniques we're using. So that should not happen. Again, give them credit, but we have to do a better job. Yeah, obviously we didn't do a good enough job. Anybody, Mary Kay, when you don't score points. So that's no one did a good job, including myself.
I know you're asking about Cornelius, but you talk about the tackles during the week. Just how tough is it when two backups out there playing for consistent action?
Yeah, that's part of it. We expect our guys that are out there to perform, and we got to make sure we put them in position to succeed.
Decisions governed by the fact that you have to go overseas, play in London against the Vikings team. Does that determine any of your decisions?
Yeah, I think for me, Mary Kay, I'm just focused on this game right now. I can't. Got to look at the tape of this one first.
You said this before, but you still believe that Joe gives this offense, this team, a chance to win over either of them?
Yeah, again, it's never going to be about one person. It's just not. And we're not doing a good enough job. I'll put myself in there as well. We have to be better.
What do you see? I know they put a bunch of touchdowns. What do you see from the defense, particularly the run game you talked about?
Yeah, again, put them in some really tough spots there after turnovers. Outside of those, I thought they competed, outside of those scores, which is, again, putting them in a disadvantage where the ball is. But I thought we competed like crazy. We made enough plays. We just have to come through as a football team.
What can you say about Sean's easy to be bright spot on offense?
Yeah, I think he continues to get better weekly. Mary Kay, I think every time he gets a new game plan and new understanding what we're doing and some different runs and those type of things, I just think he's going to keep getting better.
Was the intention early on trying to get him going a little bit so earlier to maybe take some of the force them to not be in their back as much?
Yeah, I think that's, every team kind of goes into it trying to make sure that they're having success on the ground and through the air. So that'll be really by each game for us. Yeah, just we didn't do a good enough job coaching players. Yeah, I mean that's where we are as a football team. We're frustrated, but bottom line is we'll put together a plan this week and find a way.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Downs for Cleveland. Flacco to the outside, and it's DJ Reed down the sideline, forced out of bounds. Flacco under pressure, and it is picked off along the near sideline by Kirby Joseph.
Oh, I think anytime you play like that, it's frustrating. So, yeah, pretty frustrating.
Joe, it's pretty obvious that you just didn't get very much help in this football game. I know you're calling it together, but it really just looked like there were plenty of drops.
Well, we made mistakes. The first pick was on me, and anytime you get, you give a chance to give this team a little bit of momentum and play from the lead, that makes them that much better. That's part of the reason why they're a good football team. So when you turn the ball over like that and you give them good position, and you don't really allow our defense to pin their ears back and do their thing, then you're going to struggle as a whole. I don't know about that second one. I really didn't. That set them up too. I really didn't think that they came up with that, but in the box where they did, and it hurt us. So.
Why is it what's going on you? Stop this route.
Yeah, I thought he was I thought he was going. I was in the wrong, not him. Yep.
Yeah, it 9 more times today. The team today. The second most hit.
I feel good. That's part of the game. It's tough to come out of a football game and complain about things like that. Like, everybody that we have on our team right now is battling, and the guys up front are battling, and it's part of playing tough football games is having to deal with stuff like that.
And it's unlikely to make a mental error.
Mental error. We had some verts inside, and we had press outside, and I was just kind of licking my chops to take a shot right there, on 3rd and 8 or 9, whatever it was, and made a mistake that hurt us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, those guys are prideful guys. They're so anytime you go out there and you get beat up like we did today, a lot of guys are in the locker room right now, trying to make sure that they can keep their head held high, but obviously it's a fight. It's no different with those guys. Like I said, they're battling out there, and they're prideful guys. They take what they do seriously, and that goes for all of us, but it doesn't help the fact that we're just making mistakes.
Those 2 shots in the fourth quarter back to back, please with the throws. Judy.
I didn't see the one I threw to Harold. I couldn't tell you what ended up happening on that one. And the one with Judy, it's just, it's one of those things that I would have liked to get it out a little bit earlier, but I think Aiden was able to get a little bit of hand on the ball, so it took a little bit longer. And then, it's just one of those things that when you're playing in these tough games, sometimes you don't make those plays. And I think the bigger thing is just to put ourselves in more positions to make those kind of plays. And, right now, I don't think we're getting a ton of shots like that. And when we do, maybe we're not, executing them quite as well as we should.
You haven't indicated, it seems like at least that he's going forward with you for the Vikings game next week.
Listen, that's one of those things. I mean, you can't think about it when you're a player. I know what I signed up for. I signed up for coming in and competing for a job and then leading this team to victories. And you know that everybody's always being evaluated in this league, and that's no different for any position. So, it's disappointing to go out there and play the way we did today. Other than that, I'm not really worried about all that stuff.
So what did change today? First drive? Did they do anything different?
No, listen, I think we were able to get after their man a little bit on the first drive and kind of, and obviously win some one-on-one matchups. And then we have to look at the film and just kind of see, obviously, some of the things that we weren't necessarily able to do just like that later in the game. I think we still got some shots down the field at times, but we just weren't able to sustain anything.
If you'd have told me, so you picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur. Just like who's going to start or what play we're going to call is Kevin's call. But that's Andrew's call. He made the call. Well, I think that's really more of an Andrew question, okay? But I think, what was that pick, 146? We thought he was good value at 146. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur. And I know everybody has a vision of Shedeur, but he's come in the building, worked hard, kept his head down, and done what he's supposed to do, as has Dylan. Those are.
This is bigger than football. Do y'all believe me now? Do y'all believe me now? I'll wait. W12 in the chat, if you believe me. If you've been here from the beginning and you done listen to what I said and what I've been telling y'all, do you believe me now? Because all I'm going to say is, you better get ready. Browns, NFL. I know y'all in here. You better start doing right. It ain't gonna get no better. It ain't gonna get no better. This the owner now, part owner, saying it was Andrew Berry called the draft Shedeur. So get what that mean? What that mean? That mean it was collateral collusion all along. If it wasn't the owner call to pick him, and he fell to the 5th round, and he clearly just said he wasn't gonna pick him Saturday, that's the last day of the draft. What you mean you ain't gonna pick him Saturday? You gonna pick him Monday? That was the last day of the draft, so you ain't gonna pick him at all. That what you saying, Jimmy? Jimmy, can you hear me? That's what you saying. You weren't gonna draft Shedeur at all. That's what I just heard. Miss me with all that stuff. We put 2 and 2 to make 4. 1, 2 to make 3. I'm not. No. I don't want to hear nobody else talk about nothing else. I don't want to hear. You mean to tell me Shedeur fell to the 5th round because of some collateral collusion, because you were forced, and you the only team that had to draft Shedeur. The owner didn't even like it. No, he ain't blaming Andrew Berry for the 4 quarterback. He blaming Andrew Berry to take the heat off of him. Andrew Berry, the scapegoat. He can fire Andrew Berry. Jim Haslem ain't going nowhere. You can't get rid of the owner unless you force him to sell. I said that over 2 months ago. In 2 days, it'll be 2 months since I said that. And ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. This man, Joe Flacco, done threw an interception in every game they done played. Every game. The Giants done played Jackson Dart off a 0-3 start. I told y'all last Sunday. I said the Browns done messed around and beat Green Bay and gave it a false narrative that they was good. I say and said it on live. I said, and I told y'all, them winning that game gave them a false narrative that they were actually good. Then I made a video that don't nobody never watch, but y'all, hopefully, I don't know. I just see the views. I don't know who actually watching it and who ain't. Then I said it on my video I made. I said the Browns mess around, beat Green Bay, but you can't win a game in the NFL, keep averaging 15 points a game. The Ravens dropped 4 that game. Detroit dropped 4 that game.
Minnesota just lost to Pittsburgh. They about to come back with a vengeance. Carson Wentz about to throw all over that defense. And it ain't even, you can't even say the defense good no more. Because I understand offense put them in bad situations sometimes, but you can't even say the defense good no more because they can't stop. They still giving up points. Money man, but Joe Flacco turning the ball over, putting them in bad field position. I don't care. You get paid hundreds of millions of dollars, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. You getting paid 80s of millions of dollars. Them boys making millions of dollars that start on their defense. You is paid to stop the offense from scoring. So 34 points. When your teams go 15, guess what, defense? You got to keep this team from scoring 15 points. That's how you going to win. Man, 184 yards and 2 interceptions. And Dylan Gabriel went 0 for 1. He probably just handed the ball off the other ones. The only positive thing from this offense is Quinson Junkins. He the reason you looking at why they let Nick Chubb go. That's what you looking at. Junkins. But just running the ball ain't putting no points. He scored the only touchdown. You got horrible quarterback play. Your receivers dropping balls. The only thing that been consistent these last 2 games is the running game. It seemed like the rookies is the ones that need to take over. I'm advocating for Shedeur, but I already know Dylan Gabriel gonna get in there first. So at this point, Browns, let the rookies take over, cause all on balling, and you got 2 at quarterback that you ain't even playing. Isaiah Bond stepping up for his first game. I ain't gonna say he consistent. Fannin, he been playing since day one. Junkins done stepped in off the street, out the courtroom. I guess he ready. The quarterback ain't ready, but I guess dude that ain't even been doing training camp, and he been in the courtroom all training camp, he step on the field, in 2 weeks, he ready. I don't know. Makes no sense to me. And then you gonna still play Joe Flacco? The Giants turned the reins over to Jackson Dart. Why? Because the head coach over there, Giants, he know if he don't show that he made a right pick, trading back up in the first round, getting Jackson Dart, and that boy don't play, and they go 0-5, he fired. Kevin moving like he ain't gonna get fired. I done told y'all, and I done told y'all. Kevin moving like he know his job is secure. Him and Andrew Berry, they moving like they know that it don't matter what their record is, they gonna still have their job next year. And it's a shame that you can sit here and continue to lose and be okay with it. And I know it comes from Jimmy. It got to be coming from Jimmy. Because listen, I don't understand how you be a Brown fan. I really don't understand it. You ain't won nothing since 1964. And you loyal to a team that's just stealing your money. It's blatant stealing. If I buy a ticket to go to a Browns game, they are stealing my money. Luckily, my money got good use when I went. Because they actually dropped 30 points. The most points they done dropped all season. Who was the quarterback? Who was the quarterback? I don't care about no preseason. I don't care when it was. Well, that's the preseason. He need to put something on tape. The player you got in there ain't putting that on tape. Ain't putting the ball in the end zone. This man scored 21 points by himself. He led the team to 21 points, and y'all can't get past 15 with the starters. Shedeur put up 21 points with the second and third string, and y'all can't get past 15 points with the starter. I don't want to hear nothing about it was the preseason. Because obviously, whatever y'all doing now, you should have been playing like you was in the preseason. Because you won every game then. Man, that Tony G judging off that Rams game. I said that 2 months ago, and I said it farther back than that. Y'all need, if you ain't been here, you need to subscribe and share right now. I've been saying this thing since April.
A talent issue. This isn't a can-do issue. This transcended that, and that's why I think of anybody on that list that you have of fifth round guys, none of them had the skill set that this young man had. This is not about can you play the position. This is about do we want you to play the position for us.
Half race, the NFL has been clueless for 50 years when it comes to evaluating quarterback.
And now going into the pros, this is the first thing he couldn't control. And they was like, I got you. Now, it's not about the actual evaluation. Because like what Freddie said, if you evaluate him a certain way, then that's just the evaluation. It was the chatter, right? It was the conversation around him. So many things about Shedeur during the draft process were character, personality.
Shedeur was supposed to go to the Browns this whole time. The whole NFL colluded, including the Browns. Shedeur is taking the punishment for Deshaun Watson. Shedeur is collateral collusion. He's not even in the league yet, but he getting punished for what happened with Deshaun Watson. This collusion case came to a conclusion in January, but didn't nobody say nothing until now, 5 months later. The NFL draft was in April. We in June now, and it just came out. So I said that in June. I posted. And kick me out my own live. They don't like me. They kicking me out my own live. That's crazy. But like I said that in June. I posted that July 4th. That video you just seen, collateral collusion. They don't want to play Shedeur. I told y'all it's either sabotage, blackballing, or they trying to bury them on the depth chart so they can keep control of them for the next 4 years. Now, 2020 hindsight, Lamar Jackson left the game with a hamstring injury. Cooper Rush is the Raven quarterback. Not saying Shedeur was going to be QB2 if he got picked by the Ravens. Like he said, like it reported and confirmed by Coach Prime that the Ravens did call. But we know this is only temporary. Then, where that? Geno Smith throws third interception of the game. Las Vegas Raiders was a top 30 visit for Shedeur. They passed on them too. All I'm saying is, the teams that passed on Shedeur, that looking like they need a quarterback, not the Ravens, but the Cleveland Browns with the team he on, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Jets. Who else? Giants. I ain't even gonna. Y'all can talk about Jackson Dart. I'm looking at the numbers and I watched the film and wasn't them but spectacular. The only reason why they won that game because the clock ran out. The clock ran to 0. The Chargers were coming back, man. The Chargers was coming back. And I think they weren't ready to play. The Chargers. I don't think the Giants is better than the Chargers. Jackson Dart, he came up and, the game plan was probably during the week was probably Russell Wilson. And there's no film on Jackson Dart besides the preseason. So, I mean, it ain't too much you can scheme up off of based on what they actually gonna run with him in there. 13 for 20, 111 yards, 1 touchdown passing, and that was only because they got an interception and ran it back to down to the 5-yard line. 10 carries, 54 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, he didn't do nothing spectacular. Justin Herbert threw 2 interceptions, and like I said, I don't think the Chargers was ready to play. They just looked like they never got in the game. Like the Chargers. They just they never looked like they was in the game. Like they wanted to play. Until I see consistency, like Dion telling Colorado, we're going to talk about them in a minute. Until I see consistency from Jackson Dart, Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward, it's still yet to be seen what they can do. Let me look at Cam Ward right quick. Whoo! 26-0. 10 for 26, 108 yards, 1 interception. Wow. No more overall pick. I don't want to hear no excuses because you the number 1 overall pick. You the franchise changing quarterback. You supposed to come in and dominate from day 1. That's why we drafted you number 1 overall. I don't want to hear no excuses. I like Cam. I like Cam Ward. I do like Jackson Dart. I like his game. I'm just saying I need to see consistency, in positive consistency. Now you can be consistent like Joe Flacco and continually throw interceptions and play bad and look up and win a game and think everything all right and put out a false narrative that we good. We ain't got to change the quarterback. Yeah, you can keep putting out that false narrative. Meanwhile, you banking on Jacksonville losing to have 2 top 10 first-round picks. Meanwhile, they 3-1. And they should have beat Cincinnati. The only reason why they lost against, they should be 4-0 right now. Jaguars should be 4-0. They called that BS penalty on Travis in that Cincinnati Bengals game, and they would let them win. They done beat the 49ers. Not saying they the same 49ers that were going to the Super Bowl and all that, but that ain't no slouch team. Now, they mess around, beat Kansas City. I don't think it's going to happen, though. But if they keep it close, come on now. Man, if the Jaguars 3-1 now, I'm looking at their schedule right now. I'm just gonna say L. Now you 3-3. Rams a toss-up game. So I'll put a dub because they playing at home. Now you 4-3. Raiders dub. Now you 5-3. Houston dub. Now you 6-3. Chargers, if they play like they played today, that's another win. But I'm gonna put 6-4. Cardinals a toss-up game. Let's just say 6-5 because they at Cardinals. Tennessee 7-5. Colts 7-6. Jets 8-6. Denver 8-7. Colts again. Maybe you win this game because you're at home against the Colts, and then you lose this one. So let's just say you're 8-8. Then Tennessee 9-8. Did I count that right? Did I count that right? So that's a mid-tier team in the teams in the draft. Because Tennessee looking like they're gonna have the first overall pick. Again. And the Browns looking like they're gonna have number 2 again. I'm just saying, man.
Which brings me finally to Shedeur Sanders. A favorite subject of mine because he's a favorite player of mine without a real home, without a real opportunity, without real hope that he so deserves. Again, he should have been the first overall pick in the draft. My friend Mel Kiper had him ranked above Cam Ward, as did I. First overall pick to Tennessee. Right now, should have been Shedeur starting for the Tennessee Titans as we speak.
Now I said this. I told y'all. I went back and looked and I showed it. And they had Shedeur projected to be drafted by the Tennessee Titans. Now, if y'all don't know, Cam Ward didn't get put into the spotlight till he was on Well Off Media. Cam Ward was on Well Off Media, training with Shedeur, with the select QB trainer, quarterback trainer, and they had an exchange that went viral. Shedeur asked Cam Ward to get on the track. Cam Ward said, no, I play football. Now, the media spent that to a whole different level because they were building up them narratives about Shedeur. Them negative narratives, not no positive ones. The negative narratives when the Giants talking about he didn't catch the Arizona install, he cocky, he arrogant, what he was saying at the pre-draft, what he didn't do at the pre-draft. The media put them two against each other. And what the NFL did was, with the collusion, they decided that we're going to take the enemy that we created or the player that we pitted against Shedeur, we going to take him as the top quarterback and make Shedeur slide in the draft. Listen to what I'm saying now. If you look at the numbers, Cam Ward versus Shedeur, for that last season, they had the exact same numbers. Shedeur got maybe 2 or 3 more interceptions, but Cam Ward had a better offense, sure enough a better offensive line, a better defense, and a better team overall than Colorado had. And at the same time, just like Dylan Gabriel, just like Jackson Dart, just like Cam Ward, they went to a team that's already established and got a culture. For as that team had been set with their coach for at least 3 to 4 years before they got there. And then they got there and just got plugged in into the scheme, the offense, the culture, whatever they had already established, the foundation, they got plugged in there. Shedeur had to transfer in to Colorado and establish all this. Meanwhile, taking a team that was 1-11 before they got there to 4-8 to 9-4. That's a big difference. Going and building a team to going to a team that's already established with a head coach that's been there 3 to 4 years and got his system in and got most of his players in with a better offensive line. Now one of them quarterbacks I named, Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, in college got sacked more than 25 times in one season. Last season. You can even go the year before that. Look at it. Shedeur got sacked 94 times in 2 years and still threw for over 4,000 yards. And had a Heisman Trophy winner at receiver. I don't want to hear nothing.
That obviously didn't happen because the NFL and its good old boy network decided to teach Shedeur and in turn his father lessons. We don't act the way you're acting. Faces of the franchise in our league don't conduct themselves the way you conduct yourself in interviews. Yeah, he was brash. He was outspokenly brash. He was a little arrogant. I get it. He said some things he probably shouldn't have said to some NFL GMs and scouts and coaches that he shouldn't have said to. And they made him pay. Word was passed around. I'm not saying there was an official memo sent out. Don't draft Shedeur. I heard all kinds of things about he doesn't have the arm strength. Baloney. He's got plenty. He's got every bit the arm that Tom Brady ever had. By the way, speaking of Brady, now that you know that he's wearing a headset for the Las Vegas Raiders, of which he owns 5%, that's a big chunk, $400 million worth. But now that you know he's that actively involved from day to day with the Raiders, you don't think it was his word that was the bond in Las Vegas for not taking Shedeur? They had 7 chances to take Shedeur before Cleveland finally took him in the 5th round. 7 chances. And Tom Brady's Raiders passed 7 times on Shedeur Sanders. Outrageous.
Now look, I still say 5% to $8 billion ain't nothing. 400 million, that $8 billion ain't nothing. The owners still have the control over the team and who they want to draft. That's why I don't believe what Jimmy said, talking about he was Andrew Berry pick. You the owner. Come on now. I don't believe Tom Brady had that much influence on picking Shedeur or not picking Shedeur. Now, for all we know, Tom Brady told them to pick Shedeur. And they said no. Because Shedeur was supposed to go to the Browns his whole time. The collateral collusion. But at the time, like I said, the more and more they talk, the more and more they tell on themselves. But they yet to come out. I'm thinking, that's just my opinion now, my theory. I'm thinking Tom Brady told them to draft Shedeur, and the owner said no. That's just my opinion.
Biggest shame I've ever experienced in all my time covering NFL drafts was Shedeur falling to the 5th round. It's just wrong. But now maybe there's a glimmer of hope provided by his father. So before the draft, Shedeur and Dion did have dinner with Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns. And even though they didn't want to go to the Browns in the 1st round, the sorry-ass Browns, they did like Jimmy Haslam, and he liked them. And Jimmy would love to rub elbows on the reg with Dion and in turn his son. Jimmy Haslam loves publicity, and he knew that once the 5th round hit, that if he told his GM and his head coach, we are taking Shedeur here, that it would cause quite a big publicity splash. You can call it a publicity stunt, if you will, but Jimmy Haslam took Shedeur. Kevin Stefanski wanted 0 to do with Shedeur Sanders. They had already taken 50 slots earlier, Dylan Gabriel. I'm going to tell you again about Dylan Gabriel. I watched him a lot at Oklahoma. He's a little better than Tua, and he's right out of the Tua mold from Hawaii. Left-handed, short, 5'11", 205-ish. Accurate. He's better than Tua, but he's not better than Shedeur. FanDuel is getting you ready for the NFL season with an offer.
Skip watched him now. When he played at Oklahoma, you know Skip loves him, Oklahoma. He watched him. And he telling you right now, Dylan Gabriel ain't better than Shedeur. And we already know that. Because Mike Greeny came up there and said he confounded how Dylan Gabriel got picked and drafted before Shedeur. How did Dylan Gabriel get elevated above Shedeur when every NFL analyst that covers the draft didn't have Dylan Gabriel nowhere in the vicinity of getting drafted or even better than Shedeur? Nowhere. I made a video on it too. And when I told y'all that on live months ago, nowhere was Dylan Gabriel projected or even thought of better than Shedeur. And like I told y'all then, like I just told y'all earlier with Cam Ward, they gotta find somebody to pit against Shedeur. You gotta have somebody that you can elevate above Shedeur to keep him down. And he already done told them folk he ready to play. Kev, I hope all our players ready to play. Don't seem like the starters ready to play on offense. Them but Juckins. He the only one being consistent.
Day, do it right now, earn his son. Just because Jimmy right now gets started now. But just because Jimmy Haslam likes Dion and in turn his son, it gives me hope when Dion went on the New Heights podcast. I think it was taped late last week and it dropped on Monday after the Browns had pulled off their big upset win over the Packers. But Dion volunteered, I have a prediction to make, and he predicted that Shedeur would get to start some games. It sounded plural to me. For this year's Cleveland Browns. Well, it's sort of hard to fathom, so they pull off the big upset with Fluco. Dylan Gabriel's sitting second on the depth chart, and he played very well in the preseason, as did Shedeur in the one big start that he had with the first and second team players. So really, to me, third on the depth chart is Bailey Zappi, even though he's not listed. He's on the practice squad, but I know that Stefanski loves him because Belichick loved him. Belichick took him in the 4th round out of Western Kentucky because he decided he had made a mistake on Mac Brown, and he liked Bailey Zappi better than he liked Mac Brown. Bailey Zappi started 8 games in New England and won 4 of them, 4-4. I thought Belichick really loved him, but he finally didn't make it. And yet he started a game late last season for Cleveland. He's on the depth chart. Well, you can't tell me that Stefanski doesn't love Bailey Zappi and Dylan Gabriel far more than he loves Shedeur Sanders. So it's sort of hard to do the math here.
Look y'all. I see what you're saying, man, Pamela, but listen. That look like a compliment right now. Daniel Jones got the Colts balling, even though they lost today. But he got the Colts balling. So I don't even see that as an insult. And quit saying Pat Shermer this, Pat Shermer. He has no power in this. I keep telling y'all this. That man below the totem pole compared to what Kevin and Dayball, because they the head coaches, even though the owners still got the final say. But what Skip Bayless said was Jimmy is a billionaire, and he ain't become a billionaire owning the Cleveland Browns. He became a billionaire because he's a businessman. And what the businessman saying in your head, oh, I got the most popular quarterback on my team. He just happened to be the third string. Or, well, we going to put him as the third string. But he the best quarterback on our roster, but we going to just use him so we can make some more money. In the first month Shedeur was on the Browns, they probably made over that $4.6 million. They about to pay him for the next 4 years. They about to pay that man $1 million a year for the next 4 years, and they made that 4.6 in probably in the first 2-3 weeks, whenever they released that jersey, and they had Sanders with 0 on there, because they didn't know what number he was gonna have. They made that 4.6 million right then. And no, Shedeur ain't getting no 14 million in commission on no jersey sales. Before y'all even say that. But what I'm saying is, Jimmy know what he doing. And if they done had dinner with Dion and Shedeur, then he got to somewhat like Shedeur far as, I don't know if it's a football or it's just how much money he can bring in. That's what we don't know. Now, what I'm going to tell you is what happened with the Giants. They got a boosted energy playing at home, having Jackson Dart in there. What you think going to happen with the Browns when they put Shedeur in there? It ain't going to happen with Dylan Gabriel. It's going to happen with Shedeur. When Shedeur get in there, it's going to be a boost of energy from the team, the fans, and the whole organization going to take it up and get elevated because they finally going to do what they should have been did from the beginning. But keep playing around, Browns. You're going to keep losing. You looked up on one win, and I told you, it created a false narrative.
Unless there's just a spate of unfortunate injuries, and I'm knocking on wood for these guys. I don't wish it on anybody. And the other issue arises, Cleveland's got the best defense in pro football, as I said, and Cleveland is number 1 against the run in pro football. And Cleveland's got 2 kids on that defense, Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger out of UCLA, who leads the team in tackles, that they're having instant impact. They got Myles Garrett, who's way better than Micah Parsons ever dreamed of being, as both a run stuffer and a quarterback sacker. And because of that defense, and because, as I mentioned earlier, Judkins has emerged as a real tote that rock difference maker, as you saw late, certainly against Green Bay. Now I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm looking at games like they got Miami at home, they got at New England, they got at Jets, they got at Las Vegas, they got Tennessee at home, they got at Cincinnati, they got Pittsburgh at home. They can beat Pittsburgh at home. They can. They can shackle Aaron Rodgers. They could win a low-scoring game with Pittsburgh. They're that good. They're a legit defense. It's the best defense in pro football. So my point to you is, what if Fluco keeps putting up 14 or 17 points and they start winning some of these games? They could easily, they're now 1-2, obviously. Well, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 more games. What if they got to 8 wins? That'd be a hellacious year. That would
Skip, they're not getting 8 wins. But I do see, based on what Mary Kay said, I know she be lying, but that narrative of playing Bailey Zappi before Shedeur, just to keep him what you just said, Savage, it's too many games left in the season to play Shedeur. We got to have less games so he can play less games. We can't have him. We can't put We got to keep Joe Flacco in there as long as possible, no matter how bad he playing, until we get halfway through the season. Because then Dylan Gabriel going to step in. Then we got to play him 4 to 5 games. Then it's going to be a few games left. Then we might can put Shedeur in. But we can't have Shedeur play from here to the end of the season. You got to justify drafting Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round when nobody had him projected to go on the 2nd day. Nobody had this man in the 3rd round at all, but the Cleveland Browns. You, Cleveland, Andrew, y'all had a good draft up until that point. Then you messed around the 3rd round. I don't know what you were thinking, but you got Dylan Sampson, then you got Shedeur after that. Y'all had an amazing draft because all these rookies is contributing besides the quarterbacks. Now, go ahead and play Dylan Gabriel now because for whatever, I just told y'all the reason why they're going to leave Joe Flacco in there as long as possible. But this is getting, as a football fan, because I ain't no Brown fan, as a football fan, this team is literally trying to lose and want to continue to lose just to prove a point. Man, look, I done said that too. They sitting here wasting Myles Garrett year, Denzel Ward another year, Grant, Newsom. They wasting all these veterans years in the NFL by playing with the Browns. Now, I don't know. Maybe they just want to check. Maybe they're Carmelo. Maybe they're Melo in the NFL. Maybe Myles Garrett or Carmelo. What I mean by that, maybe he just want the money. He don't want a chance to win a championship. He don't want an opportunity to make the playoffs and compete for a championship. Maybe he just want to make his money and play in the NFL and get out and become a Hall of Famer like Joe Thomas and just have the record in sacks and all that. He don't want a chance to win the championship. I don't know. Maybe that's his mindset. They could trade Judah right now. I mean, the drops he done had. Don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Now I'm about to switch gears. I'm looking for that video. I'm going to talk about Colorado because I think it's over. Far as Big 12 championship, it's over. It's over for Colorado. So you're telling NFL scouts you are mentally tough when adversity hits, and as a 5th-year senior leadership is still a struggle. Add in questionability, decision making, big moments. Sometimes it's best to just say next question. I ain't looked at it like what I did.
Something that I embrace, having to sit a game that really kind of messed up my head a little bit. So I knew that when I came back, I just had to be that leader that coach was looking for. We got a young team, and like I said before, I'm one of the older guys on the team, so they looking up to the older guys to step up and be that leader, and that's what I'm trying my best to do for this team. Something that I am.
Man, look here. I want the other picture so y'all can see it. Okay, y'all gonna think I'm crazy. This Denver Buffs now. I told y'all it's a reason why they went to stop. This is Denver Buffs. They cover Colorado a lot. That's all they cover. Besides, I guess the other Denver sports, Colorado sports. But he got 2 wide open receivers, 3rd and 3. No pressure at all. All he got to do is stay in the pocket and throw this ball. But, like this fan over here said, 22-yard loss on 3rd and 3. I had went to sleep on the game. And I was like, all right, Colorado got this the way they were playing in their first half. But then when BYU got back in it, and I got off, and I said, man, 14-10, I already know BYU think they got a chance. That's why I said on live, I said Colorado got to put up 28 points before halftime. If y'all was in here, when I was live streaming during the game, I said Colorado got to put up 28 points before halftime. And that's the reason why. Them first 2 drives of Colorado was immaculate, amazing, orchestrated like a masterpiece. Beethoven couldn't have wrote a better masterpiece for them first 2 drives. Michelangelo couldn't have painted another Mozart, whatever it is. Michelangelo, Beethoven, they couldn't have did it better. Then I watched Coach Prime interview. He said the game dictated this, whatever. I was like, come on, coach. Come on, coach. This one of the few times I disagree with Coach Prime. Y'all could have kept doing what y'all was doing because it was working. First half, 24 rushing tip, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. Second half, 13 rushing tip, 44 yards. They came out with the motions. I was on live. Some of y'all were here. And I said, they changing the formation mid-play. They lined it up one way, then they changed it, lined up another way, and then the defense got to adjust. They came out and moved that ball so easy down the field on BYU. I was like, there you go. Then they did it again. Wow. They playing perfect time. It might be the dumbest play I've ever seen. Was a depressing drive home from the game. So many chances for CU to get their signature win of the season. I agreed. I didn't agree with some of the play call, but this is execution stuff Coach Prime talks about. Joseph Williams went wide open at the first down marker, not to mention Brown being open as well, with plenty of time to throw, and this winds up as a 22-yard sack. I told you, it ain't all on the play calling. You got to execute the play at some point. Man, he on maybe he just getting this. I ain't gonna say maybe he do need to get out of his own head, but on the other side, maybe he getting exposed. Maybe he finally getting exposed and he ain't as good as we thought. That's just an opinion. Because you can't keep making the same mistakes over and over again and keep saying he need to get out of his own head. Oh, he just did. Oh, making excuses. You can't. That means that's you. That's your play style. You're not understanding it. Because trust me, I coached it. And still coaching it. Trust me. You can sit there and tell a player what to do. And he still do it wrong. Literally before the ball snap. I can tell this player, blitz off of the edge where you standing at, just run back there. The ball snap, he stand there. You can't make this up. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. And what I'm saying is, come on, bro. Both of them were open right here. Soon they crossed each other. You hit Joseph Williams right there. He already trying to run. It wasn't no reason to pull that ball down. No reason. You ain't getting no pressure. Then he ran. Why you running that way? The hole right here. If you were going to run, you run in this gap right here. Like I said, this is the second game. This is the second game. K-Salt done came out and looked like the K-Salt we thought we was getting in the first 2 drives, and then the rest of the game, we don't know what he doing. This man literally had a chance to throw the ball away twice. Could have threw it away right there. Then he ran back even more. Could have threw it away right there. Maybe even 3 times. It was 2. He had a chance to throw the ball away and still didn't. After he just had got told to throw the ball away the game before. And he did it the second drive in this same game.
When it came to the pass set first 15, they always talk about first 15 is those scripted plays. The first 15 was great. The rest of it, back to the same old. I just think this Colorado offense, and then when it came to the end of the game and Salter needing to execute for them down the stretch, I mean, just certain times, I mean, he took in at the end of the first half, I believe it was, he took a sack that took him out of field goal range. There was I believe 3rd and 3 in the 3rd or 4th quarter. I think it was early in the 4th quarter. It was a 3rd and 3 where he took a 22-yard sack and just completely, even if they weren't going to get the first down, ruined the field position. Obviously, the interception at the end. There just isn't a consistent flow to this offense.
Yeah.
And BYU, they battled back. They made stops because they believed they could make stops against an offense. Okay, we weathered the storm. Yes, it's 14-0 and 14-3, and we got a true freshman quarterback who played pretty well in this game. But at the end of the day, I just don't think for 60 minutes, Colorado's offense gives them. And the craziest part is it's everybody but the offensive line. We'll say this again. Their offensive line was terrific. Jordan Seaton and those guys.
Oh, they had like a 90 pass blocking.
They're one of the best pass protectors. Jordan Seaton is still the country's highest graded pass blocker.
He's a stud.
It's everything but their offensive line now.
Look, I know it's too late, but just as a fan, if Shedeur played in this game, even minus Travis Hunter, if Shedeur played in the game, Colorado win this easy. Now look, this clearly was not the same BYU team that played in the Alamo Bowl that destroyed Colorado with Shedeur and Travis Hunter. This clearly is not the same BYU team. So that what gave me hope. That what gave me hope. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I told you I watched the film. I watched the film before. I watched the film when they played Stanford, and Stanford is horrible. Stanford was, at times, Stanford was blocking. They was blocking their defensive line. So, and they were making some plays. So I was like, okay, Colorado clearly got better athletes than Stanford, but decision making, and once again, like I told y'all, as you can see right here, the quarterback, 98 rushing yards. I told y'all, they gotta stop the run, and specifically the quarterback run. Coach Prime, listen to me now. Listen to me now. You said it yourself in the press conference. You said the DBs got to step up and play better. Did the same thing on the offensive side last year. And the first year they got there when the offensive line went blocking. And I said, y'all wasn't here though, but I said they got to stop doing them long development plays and start getting the ball out quick. If the line ain't blocking, So get what, Coach Brown? Now it's on the defensive side. If the DBs and the linebackers ain't doing what they supposed to do, you need to start running zone coverage. Quit trying to run all this man coverage in everything. Because on that one of them touchdowns, I looked at the highlight. I said they picked their own player. Colorado picked, like, basically, Parks ran into the safety. And number 2, the receiver was wide open. And the reason why that happened is because they ain't communicating. It's a call that you can say banjo, and you get the first outside thing, the corner get the outside, and the safety will get the inside. Or if he got a linebacker or whoever else is, they'll get that player play the inside and that corner play the outside. And clearly, they was tight stacked. They was in a tight stack. 2 receivers. That means one on the line and one behind them. Right, literally, right behind them. You can't play man coverage if you ain't pressing, man. You can't play man coverage when they like that if you're not pressing. Somebody got to press the point man. Somebody got to press the man on the line of scrimmage. Other than that, you can't do that. You can't run man coverage playing off like that. And you were not calling banjo. You can't do it. And now I'm telling you, if they playing that bad, coach, you got to run some zone. And you got to blitz. It's like they don't blitz at all. This is crazy, man. They don't blitz at all. And they need to get the D-line ain't playing bad for getting pressure, but they running that man coverage and with no quarterback spy. But if you run the zone, the linebackers ain't supposed to turn they back to the quarterback anyway. But if you run that zone, then you got your eyes still forward on the quarterback. But I don't know nothing. See what y'all talking about. I'm about to get off. Man, no, play Juju. I don't even know what Ponder can do. And then Miracle. At this point, keep Draylon back there. Look. With that little wildcat, whatever with Draylon, they should have kept doing that, even in the second half. But look here. Man, you can't make nobody do nothing, bro. You can't make nobody do nothing. Like I told y'all this right here. I said they could have won this game. The only game they got blowed out was Houston. The other 2 L's, they were tight, close games. But it come down to decisions. Now you got to go to TCU, and I'm going to chop that up as an L. These next 2 games, L's. Just because you can't make the right decision. They're going to come out strong and hot, and then they can't finish. Now you 0-2 in Big 12 play, and you 2-3. Yeah. If you even wanted to have a chance, you got to win out. If you want a chance for the Big 12 championship, you're going to have to win out. At this point, all I'm saying is Colorado need to win at least 4 more games. That's all they need to do. They need to win 4 more games. They might can get Arizona, West Virginia, Kansas State. That's 3. So you got to beat Utah. You got to beat Utah. You got to beat Utah, Arizona, West Virginia, and Kansas State. Then you got a bowl game. Other than that, you got to go with 6-4, whatever the record is. 6-5, whatever it is. How many games left? L. 2-5. 3-5. 4-5. 5-5. 5-6. 6-6. You gotta go 6-6. Yeah, if they can't beat Utah, then they're not going to a bowl game. They not getting a bowl game with what somebody said, 4-8, 4-8 again. If that. Like, I ain't want to believe it when I ain't want to believe it. Yeah, Coach Pete. You always say that. Find a near threat. But they got to run some type of zone. They can't keep running that man cover. I ain't putting in it. Look, me rock. Y'all, like Dion say, I cry to you before I lie to you, and I done cried on here. I done cried on my live. So y'all know I ain't lying. I'm telling you the truth. That's all. I'm telling you the truth. I like Colorado. I like Coach Prime. But I'm telling you, you can't keep doing that. If you saying your DB got to play better, then you can't keep running man coverage when they can't get it done. You got to run zone. You got to blitz more. It ain't even about playing both quarterbacks, Jamel. You found a recipe. You got Draylon. Draylon was like, you switch it up like that. You ain't even got to put Juju or Staub in there. You got a playmaker in Draylon. You can run what you did and create plays for these receivers and him. Even him playing quarterback. Like, I ain't saying you got to put him at quarterback permanently, but you can have drives or 5 to 6 plays every drive, or 5 plays, or you run it twice a drive where you have Draylon at quarterback and y'all run that wildcat trick play, whatever. That's what I'm saying, man, Robert. That's part of that man coverage too. If a player, this was Hodge. This was Hodge. Preston Hodge. I don't know what he doing. If they running man coverage like that and his man go in motion, he's supposed to go with him. This man, he literally, I think on both of them reverses, that was his man. He literally stopped running. Now, I know they ain't running zone. They can't be running zone. They did play right here. He right there at the top. This Hodge right here. Y'all see him right here? On the receiver at the top. Where my mouse at. Look at this. Look. Look, he stopped. French supposed to have the running back. He stops. Everybody else playing man coverage. They did that twice. We talking about they ran zone. You talking about BYU? I ain't talking about I'm talking about the reverses and trick play they ran. Defense ain't run no zone. They running man coverage, man. He the only one that ain't running man coverage. Everybody else following their player. Look. A man-free concept. Safety free. He on him. Parks on 20. French, they flowing with the run. Like they supposed to do. Now, your backside end supposed to play BCR, boot cut back reverse. He just running. They weren't running no zone. Then your center peel back. First of all, your DN right here, he turned the wrong way. He opening it up to get blocked. He's supposed to stay square to the field, to the line of scrimmage. He ain't supposed to turn his shoulder like that. But Hodge is the only one not running man coverage. That is not zone. Boom. I'm telling you, bro. They did that twice. This the play I'm talking about right here. I clicked right on it. This my last thing now. I'm getting off. I know that game that came on. Everybody gonna be leaving. This is what I'm talking about right here. You have a tight twins and you running man coverage. If this dude is pressing the point, that is his man. Why is Parks chasing two? If you had the safety, they can play banjo. They should have called it. Banjo means Parks take the first thing outside, the safety take the first thing inside. If y'all got a point player they're gonna guard this regardless, this man regardless as man. Didn't make no sense to me. Look at two. And then I don't know what the safety driving on. What is he, if he driving on him? What is he driving on? Nothing. This dude ain't even released yet. Because that mean, what they tell me now that I'm seeing that mean to tell me that he knew what the play was for his film study. They knew what was coming. Hey, man. I'm just a little old high school, middle school coach. That's all. I told y'all why they were running them trick plays. I know you weren't here, but they ain't had the athletes like that. I hope they figure it out. That's what I'm saying, PC. They blew the cover. Only one person would run his own. But let me go ahead and get all that thing, man. That game on, everybody leaving. I just wanted to stay on the hour, that's about it. But I went a little overboard. But I appreciate y'all for coming. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about that money, man. You already know. Y'all already know what time it is.
Yeah. Gotta be more careful how you talking to a king now. Wrist so cold, they look like Beijing clouds. They ain't believe me, I took that fall, then I flew. QB when I run the dog pound like a zoo. Gold chain swing like a moon ring pressure. 5th round pick, but I still sign letters. They was down and down, living every headline. Throwing 6 with my eyes closed, telepath line. Grew from the mud like a rose with a grill. I was the talk of the town, now I'm making the deals. 5th round tag on my back, that's a sticker. Still came through, throwing lasers like a wizard. They ain't wanna see me win, so I danced in the pocket. Froze my wrist, took a snow in my locker. Took that slide like a slip and slide prayer. Now I got haters sitting front with my chair. I been like my vocal cords, I break molds. Sipping truth from a Gatorade bottle, reload. They wanted bench press, I gave them big shows. Gotta be more careful how you mention me now. Went from back row to the top of the ground. Chains on chains like I just got crowned. QB1 and the fans too loud. Walk through the pain like it's Gucci on my ankle. Media flip-flop, now they praise like a thank you. Got my dog Cuban swinging like a jump rope. In my AP, got more cuts than a cutthroat. Baptized in the hate, now I glide on the stage. Shit, it ain't shook, boy, I slide with the raid. Throw dots like I'm playing Madden on rookie. Only 12 that matter, not Brady looking. Woo!